Who are you talking to?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Me, 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 Ricola. Yum.
No idea what
Series,
just
is that a
happened.
tradition or something?
Every time.
Every time we have guests on the show, we do that.
Which is never because we're the first guest.
Okay, let's just, all right,
You can't
real
talk
quick.
over the
When the
music.
music is playing,
I don't know the rules.
well, okay, rules.
Did you hear us talking?
Hold on.
I don't know the rules.
Hold on.
No one gave
Hold
me
on.
anything in writing. I didn't sign squat.
You did sign squat.
No, that was
Yeah.
the other night. That's
No,
not
but you
tonight.
signed it.
Excuse me.
That was a thank you to Vince.
RULES apostrophe.
Okay, I won't talk about
No talking while the intro
I thought Jerry just put that in
music
there.
is
I didn't think
playing.
it would play over us.
It's
You know what I
Patrick's
mean?
rule number 1.
All right.
He does
If
it.
you would please pass this to them, I'm going to need them to sign it. All right. Let's try this again, shall we, from the top?
I need my pin back, otherwise I have nothing to fiddle with.
From the top. All right. Me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Outer Belt Podcast. I'm Patrick, and you all know my consigliere, Mr. Chili.
Hey!
And on my left side, I got my producer in the house, Jimmy.
What's up?
I'm very excited today. We got a couple special guests. We got Jimmy and MacDonald in the house.
Hello, Jimmy back. Here.
Wait, did I say Jimmy and Kelly or did I say Jimmy?
You just said Jimmy.
Well, okay. We also have his wonderful better half, his most beautiful, best part of the reason we know Jimmy, Kelly.
Kelly Mac in the house. And I will appreciate and love that comment. Thank you, Patrick.
Oh, I try my best. We are so excited to have y'all in the house tonight. They came all the way from Georgia to see us, North Georgia, near the North Carolina state line, right?
About 60 miles south of it.
So yes.
Yes.
North Georgia mountains.
So yeah.
Well, we're 60 miles from Tennessee. We're 60 miles from South Carolina.
Yeah.
If you want to be technical about
I don't
it.
want to be technical. I want good conversation. What part of listening to this going down the road is about 60 miles from it? I mean, that's not fun. That's not exciting. Yeah,
Well,
we're close to,
drivers are going down the road thinking, an hour away.
yeah,
Except
exactly.
they're in the mountains, so it's like 4 hours
can-
away.
It's like 4.
They can now pinpoint where we live based on those triangulation.
Triangulate it, yeah.
I see.
No, to triangulate, we need to know how far you from Chattanooga.
When people say, where do you live? I say the very northeast corner of Georgia. You can be in Tennessee, North Carolina, or South Carolina within an hour.
Oh, that's nice. I
That's
like
the
it.
easiest way to put
I
it.
said 60 miles. Isn't that the same thing?
When people say to me like, where do you live? Where do you come from? I think of where do you go? Or where are you from? How's it go again? I don't know. All right. Well, forget it. How was the drive in?
Good.
It was good. It was a decent drive up.
530 miles.
We stopped at a Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
We did
Love
one other-
Buc-ee's.
we
Love
stopped at-
Buc-ee's. What'd you get at Buc-ee's?
2 Texas cheesesteak burritos.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I
Nice.
passed on the beaver nuggets
Nice.
because I ate a whole bag of those last week.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They're outstanding.
they're fine. You know what I don't like about Buc-ee's?
The crowd?
They don't let trucks in. I can only go there when I'm like in my personal car, like having fun or on a trip or whatever. I can't go there in a commercial truck.
Yeah, they're not truck friendly at all.
No, I wish they'd take a note out of like Stuckey. Do you remember Stuckey's back in the day? Stuckey's.
Oh, yeah.
They had like
Stuckey's is still around.
they had blue roofs or something like
I
that.
see
They
their
had.
signs, old signs periodically. You can see them.
Yeah, you know what I remember about Stuckey's?
Unmistakable.
Stuckey's had that pecan log thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had the Dairy Queen. Every Stuckey's had a Dairy Queen in it. I was getting me a Blizzard. Was it a Blizzard? Yeah, it was a Blizzard, right? Dairy Queen
Dairy
Blizzard,
Queen
Dairy Queen
Sonic
Blizzard,
Blast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so much fun. I enjoy those times. Really do. So,
And then we hit the Jungle Gyms. Is it Jungle Gyms? Is that what it is? What I call it?
Jungle
Gyms.
Jungle
Yeah,
gyms. Did
okay,
you do like
massacre.
some
Call it
jump
jungle
roping and you climbed around a little bit? What did you do at the jungle gym?
We had to stop for Jimmy's one staple that he gets.
What is? Did you go to a high school? I mean, a middle school, elementary school? Where'd you get this jungle gyms at?
It's a grocery store.
What?
You're the one who told me about it.
I know, but again,
North side
for
of Cincinnati.
for good radio, we just
Yeah,
roll with it.
Jungle Gyms. It's, we parked in the giraffe parking lot this time. I was in the rhino parking lot last time I stopped there.
As you do.
Yeah.
I like the giraffes better.
It's crazy. I honestly, but like I said, we stopped at Buc-ee's, and that's almost too much for me because the crowds in Buc-ee's, it's not good. It's just not good. It's stressful. But the jungle gyms, if I had all day to shop, I could wheel around in there and really make a day of it. When you're trying to get someplace, and I was trying to get here. See, I can't look at you and talk.
No, you can't. If only we had that on articulating boom, that would move.
You don't want to anyway because you just started laughing. You can Patrick, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. Anyway, when you're in a hurry, you don't want to go into jungle gyms.
That's true. You really got to get in and get out. The problem with
Yes.
jungle gyms is that it's like 150 million square foot of groceries, but they have everything. Like, what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for like red fruit and certain spices? They have it.
That is true. We did swing by the cheese aisle, and I saw every nation, country, whatever you want to call it there, with the tab.
You're like, I didn't know that they made cheese in Sudan. Like, you're like, what? Where is this coming from? Like, it's unbelievable.
I must try it.
The Egyptian cheddar's a bit bitter. That's all I'm saying. It's just a bit bitter.
See,
But it's
sadly,
been
I don't know
aged
if
so
you're
long.
lying or not, because that's just the kind of crap you would know.
Well, yeah. No, I like my cheese from Switzerland.
Vince, have you been to Buc-ee's?
Holy.
I have been to Buc-ee's. Yeah,
Okay, have you been to Jungle Gyms?
I have not been to Jungle Gym.
Okay. Patrick, do you recall the restrooms?
I do.
Jungle Gyms?
I do.
And how you're thrown off and you want to literally stand outside the door for a minute?
Yeah.
Because the restroom door is a porta potty.
Porta John.
For what's the company? Rumpf?
Yeah, I believe it's Rumpf. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you're like, there's one porta john right there, men, one porta john women. And you're like, okay, I'm just waiting for someone to come out. I literally stood there for like 30 seconds until I saw somebody come out and then someone go in, and I saw there's like a hallway.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's kind of cool.
That's funny. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There'll be a picture of this on the show notes on Facebook for everybody to see. It is hysterical.
That's
And they
funny.
like write men like in spray paint. It's not even like nice and whatever, but it's a really cool place. I like it a lot. The thing I like about it is not just everything there, but like they also have all these huge decorations, and like over the aisles and stuff, they have like, they literally, around the fish area, they literally have a trawler, a full-size trawler with 2 or 3 levels, and you walk kind of through the bottom of
We
the
didn't see
trawler to
that.
get to your,
We didn't go to the fish area.
oh, you got to go to the fish area.
We went in for one item only, got it, and came out.
You got 7 of the one items.
That's only because they had 7 of the one items.
That's
That was
true.
all
All
they
they had
had.
was 7.
I'd have got 84 of the one items.
No,
if
we
I
would
had.
not. We do draw the
We
line
have a
somewhere.
Jeep. We could have
No.
fit them
No,
in
we
there.
couldn't. We barely fit them in there now.
Okay.
No one needs that much. It'll go bad before it's gone.
Yeah, well, bananas don't last very long, and since you were, in that area, I assume that's what you were getting. But it's a fun time. Highly recommend it. They have 2 locations in Cincinnati. They have one in North Cincinnati. They have one on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati.
Well,
No, it's not in
east side.
East side. Sorry. And the original location, which is kind of the northwest corner of the city, that is the original, and it's really cool. The other, to put things in perspective, on the east side, they literally bought a mall. They literally bought a mall and gutted it, and that is their store. Not like they bought a Walmart. They bought a
entire
mall.
mall.
The entire mall.
Are those the
Wow.
only 2 locations?
That's the only 2 locations right
Interesting.
now, and they have so much stuff. I would love to know more about like how they managed to get all that stuff. I suspect they're really mafia. No, I suspect they're really they're really like a distributor, and this is just their grocery store front or something. Because they have so much stuff. How could they not?
They have a little bit of everything.
They
yeah.
have a lot bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they have 98 varieties of Spanish rice. I'm like, how do you have
didn't see that.
98 varieties of Spanish
I
rice?
missed the rice aisle. Did you
I
see the
did,
rice
yeah.
aisle?
I
It's
wouldn't have
not.
been in the
It's
rice
not
aisle
an
there
aisle.
anyway,
It's a
though.
section. It's section.
They took the old Claire's accessories, and that's the Rice store now.
Yes, yes, yes.
You familiar with Claire's, Vince?
I am. I had my ears pierced for the first time at Claire's years ago.
What's the store that we used to all love going into when we were kids? Spencer's. It was
Spencer's
the
Gifts.
Field Spencer's.
What do you mean used to like going to?
I don't even think there's a Spencer's around anymore.
For all your black
What?
light needs.
Where? Who's got malls? What mall is there a Spencer's in?
Spencer's Gifts.
Spencer's Gifts. We have them at Polaris. We have them at Easton. We have them at. I don't know if Tuttle's still open or not. It might be. Yeah.
Oh, that closed down. Yeah, no.
I just remember as a little kid going to Spencer's with like when my parents would make my sister take me to the mall with her and her friends. I remember like not being allowed to go to the back of the store at
That
Spencer's.
one section said 18 plus and had a little chain across it or whatever. But you also know that you went through every one of those posters because remember having
Every
posters?
one of those
Everyone.
posters.
Yeah.
Your walls were decorated with posters, and you got the best ones at Spencer's because there was just felt like 100 of them, and you could just flip through till you found whatever it was.
Oh, can you
wanted. They had
imagine?
them all.
Do you remember finding the one you wanted, J17, and you went to look for J17, and they
it
were
was
all
empty.
out? It was empty.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't pull it, and you're like, I'll take the one in here.
And you're like, well, I wanted my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle poster. What am I going to do now?
Never wanted one of those.
No, you were probably more like, what? I can't even imagine.
I had a bunch of old 80s rock bands, probably.
Were you more Powerpuff Girls?
No, I don't ever have any.
My
no.
Little Pony.
Kids, we're the same age. Right? but no, I did like Barbies.
I like Barbies
but
too.
I built forts and
Probably
played
shouldn't
flag
discuss
football on
that,
the
though.
dirt road in front of our house. And
I didn't like Barbie at all. Like I was completely against it. And then my cousin got a Corvette for Barbie. Oh, then I fell in love. Oh, I'm like, she has a Corvette.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Barbie had some cool stuff. She had a plane, a
She
Jeep,
had an RV.
a camper, a
Yeah.
5-story house.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break. Barbie
I
had
was
it
a-
all and a good-looking dude.
I was always for Ken.
He was good-looking. Again, what's not to want? Either way, look at either. Who cares?
They were like
They're both perfect.
You know what they were? They were the original. Oh, why the word just came out? The influencers. They were the original social media
Ken and Barbie.
influencers.
Yeah.
You know, you knew where they were. You saw every time they went to the beach.
I follow them on Instagram.
You do?
Yeah. Don't you?
No. But you know what's fascinating? We have a couple of their mentors that drive for us, and they're mentors for our company. They used to work for Mattel, and American Girl and Barbie doll and Hot Wheels was like their thing. And I'm like, okay, what about sure the other two, but Hot Wheels? Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
that
yeah.
was my jam.
Oh, yeah.
Well, since we're on this, what about the unrealistic expectations teenage girls have of Barbie and or Ken and of the lifestyle? No.
But see, I didn't even think about that when I was young and playing with those. Like at that point, it didn't matter. It was just a doll. Like it was
but-
pre any of that. So I mean, again,
But
I'm
it's not-
actually aging myself.
It's not
I mean, I
always a
get it.
conscious thing, though.
No,
It's just like advertising. You know, you see advertising, and it's that subconscious thing that you get. You're playing with Barbie and not consciously, or Ken, and not consciously realizing that your goal, your ideal body type is to be Barbie or Ken. And that's the thing, that it's not necessarily that you go, oh, this is Barbie. I don't think it's just like you when I grew up. It can be subconscious too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
It's
same
fair,
could
yeah.
be the same could be said for the Muppets. I mean, how many of
Or
us
the
wanted to?
Smurfs.
How many of us wanted to
Fozzie
have that?
Bear. Fozzie
Yeah.
Bear.
I wanted to have that Kermit body. You know,
Miss
those long,
Piggy,
thin
Miss Piggy
legs.
was pretty.
Miss Piggy had attitude.
Yeah, she did.
She
She was
did.
She
sassy.
had great hair.
She was sassy.
She had that
And
great
sk-
blonde
and great
hair. It was
skin. Let's
perfect
talk about the
curls.
skin. Her skin tone was just, it was that perfect shade of
Eyelashes.
Shade of
pink.
pink. Yeah.
She had good eyelashes already.
And she was witty. Oh, she was just rapid fire witty. Oh, yeah, I miss that. But, you know, you grow up.
You do.
And then you have, you know, like real, like more normalized expectations of life and like, you know, Yellowstone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I want my DNA test back in 2 seconds on NCIS or something.
Oh, yeah, right?
Yeah, right now.
But it's funny. It's like as a kid, you know, we're like, oh man, Barbie has a freaking Corvette, or Ken has a Jeep, or whatever it is. And then now we're watching Yellowstone and we're like, wow, that dude's got a Dodge 3500 diesel. Like, and it's nice. It's got a deer guard in the front and everything.
Even I'm envious of those trucks.
Was it actually Ken's Jeep, or did he have it on loan from Barbie? I don't think Ken owned anything.
I think they had an arrangement.
They probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Barbie had a sugar daddy. It's possible.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it's called
Gotta
your
be.
parents.
That's hysterical.
Just saying.
Yeah. Anyways, well, so I don't want to change the subject, but let's change the subject. As people have learned, we've gotten accustomed to letting them know about our Ohio weather. You spent all day today out on the road. How was your day?
It was great. Had a great time.
What did you get accomplished?
Just went around to town and to all our vendors and shops that we have here, and made some face-to-face contact. People I don't get to see very often. Made introductions to Don, our new assistant maintenance manager, to our shops, and
Yeah.
they're going to be getting emails and calls and everything from him soon. So they need to know who he is and all that. So
I can imagine that brings a lot to the table, that whole being able, because you're in Georgia, so you don't really get to see him that often, but that whole, like, being able to shake hands, talk face-to-face, read a page of jokes or whatever you do, like, it just adds that level of credibility and respect for each other, right?
yeah, I mean, when you're emailing somebody and calling them, literally hundreds of times in a month, and you finally get a chance to see them face to face, which you don't get to do very often. There's a mutual respect there, but it's it's just building and keeping those relationships going. And if you can see people face to face, that helps everything out. They know who they're dealing with. I know who I'm dealing with. We can walk around the different shops and see what trucks we have there that are being worked on and what kind of time frame we're looking at to get them back. And to me, it gives them a level of care. Like, we care enough about our business and what we're doing to come see you face to face and say, hey, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing people I talk to and email and text constantly, and just don't get a chance to see them very often.
I do agree with that. I know back when I was basically running maintenance, it's been a few years now, but I lived in Columbus, so I literally saw these people every single day. So not only did they get an email or a phone call or a text message from me, I also literally saw them at least 3 times a week. And it does, I think, help a lot with that rapport, with that kind of learning what's asking too much, what's asking as a favor, and what's expected, from us or from them. It definitely, I think it helped tremendously. And I could see not living here how it would be that much more complicated. So
it is, unless you keep the communication lines open. I mean, the communication is the key, whether it's by email or phone calls. Everybody knows, if they're on the same page. It makes those infrequent face-to-face contacts, not as important. But
I'm looking forward to getting that moment where I get to go around with Patrick to all the shops and get introduced as.
hold on. Whoa, let me back up. I didn't go.
I know you didn't go.
Oh,
I'm just saying I'd like to have that same introduction. I can't wait till that time after 6 months doing this job of getting that introduction to the shops.
Wah, wah, wah. I'll do it for you, whoever's got that.
I think you pretty much made yourself known.
I did. I made my own introductions.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't, but I did it, and we got some good relationships with our vendors. We really do.
Yeah, we do. The fact that we had the mentor retreat or the Christmas party here and had all our teams here, and our vendors let us use their facilities for a team building challenge that we did. That was awesome that they did that. Which was funny because when we pulled up to Ziegler today, I told Don not to fall out of the Jeep. Don pulled up to Ziegler, jumping out of the truck so fast to go get the challenge done. I'm like, Don, we're not doing a challenge here.
Yeah,
you don't
challenges.
have to leap out of the Jeep here.
that was a lot of fun.
Sorry, Don.
That was a lot of fun. So back in December, or second week of December, we had our mentor retreat here at the house in Columbus, and also at our Christmas party for everybody as well. And one of the things we did, Melissa Lee, she put together an Amazing Grace type
Amazing.
scavenger hunt.
You sound like you said Amazing Grace.
It did, yeah.
Sorry.
He's gonna start singing it now.
Start
Yeah,
singing.
An Amazing Race type activity. and we broke everybody or all the people up into 3 different teams, and they went and drove all across the city. And our vendors actually supported us by giving us their property on a Sunday to be able to use to host these events without, it's normally their day off because most of the shops don't run on the weekends. And that was awfully generous of them. So it ended up being a lot of fun. It was very interesting because you got to see all kinds of sides of people. And, it's back when Jerry and Don used to drive with us. It was before they came on staff with Hyfield. And
Don's competitive.
We heard Don was competitive. We heard through the grapevine, and we kind of sat back just to see how it would play out and how competitive Don was. Wow.
oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to say
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Don's competitive.
Definitely.
I live with that 24/7.
It was
Hey, if he's on your team, it's a good thing.
It is. I agree.
it was
true.
it was so much fun just to see everybody get into it. And we had so many people talk about how great it was. So we definitely set the bar high. So I can't wait to see what Melissa has for us at the next next mentor retreat.
It's going to be hard for her to top it, actually.
She'll pull it off somehow.
I'd have no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't done skydiving yet.
I'm in. Let's go. We can do it tomorrow.
We can't do it tomorrow. So the whole reason y'all are up here actually is tomorrow. Kelly, myself, and Eric, we're all going to be heading up to Canton, Ohio, and we're going to be sitting through a contractor meeting with FedEx Custom Critical, one of our vendors, or not one of our vendors, one of our carriers, and we're going to hear about all the good things they have planned, all the changes they're making, and just to have a chance to have some face-to-face time with them, which is great because really we haven't had that in quite some time due to COVID and all. And there's been a lot of staff change over there, and they're still a great company. They have lots of freight. They still do a good job of running our trucks. They still do all that stuff, but the communication's really been lacking, and they know it. They've been trying to figure out a way to pull it off, and finally we're actually going to have that meeting. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. They put us up in a really nice hotel. They force feed us cocktails. There's gonna be a couple nice dinners, and it's a good time to connect. It's also fun because you meet a lot of your friends that maybe friendly competitors and things like that you know of, and we all kind of do the same thing, and we all chase after kind of the same goal. But when you're there and you're sitting with a company like FedEx at their meeting, you're all kind of peers and equals, and a lot of the people there are actually, I would say, pretty good friends of mine. And it'd be fun to introduce Kelly to some of that behind the scenes, that I don't think she's seen yet, because even though she's been with us for a while, it's been almost exclusively during COVID.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it a lot, and I hope she is as well. But
I'm excited. I hope I get to see some of the people, like Jimmy just said, that I email and work with daily. I don't know how many of those are actually going to be there, but a couple that I know of. So I am super excited to meet and greet.
Yeah, I've had a couple people reach out to me too, saying they're excited to see us, and I wish I could bring more people up there with us, but it's just it's one of those things where they're very limited on space, and so
I do hope that the question and answer and roundtable session of it that we'll have is going to be productive.
Oh, I promise you, it'll be something.
Do you have a list of topics you want to discuss with them?
I've got a few. I got some feedback from some of our mentor teams, and I'm excited for that.
So you'll come more prepared than we came for the podcast?
That won't take much.
Oh, jeez.
Just saying.
Well, let me just tell you, you're smashing it so far. This is, so when we first started this podcast up, and you can go back and listen full 3 or 4 episodes ago, we were, we tried to be very structured and to do everything kind of through a format that we thought would work very nice. We recorded it, we laid it down, it got edited, and
Quickly tossed
by the side. Oh,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
Yeah.
It
I
was,
didn't think it was that bad.
It
You have to
was-
We actually
remember,
burned the computer it was recorded on.
Jerry had to get a new computer.
Yeah.
It was-
It was tainted.
They
Yeah.
exaggerate.
And
I was
didn't-
actually falling asleep while editing.
It was miserable.
It had some good qualities, though. I told you that. I was very honest about that. I liked some of the stuff that you
Sure.
Sure. So did
Sure.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh! You can even ask Patrick. How much do I listen to? How many? Am I honestly selfless plug here? So like, I even have Expedite Chicks YouTube, but honestly, like we do the videos and stuff, and I love it, and I love to hear what people have to feedback. But I can't watch it over and over again. Like I'm not that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I listened to that whole thing. So I'm telling you, if I made it through the whole thing, it couldn't have been that bad.
Well, I made it through the whole thing too, but
Yeah.
I'm
good for 15,
I
20
sent
minutes.
these guys a text. Literally, when I was watching it, I sent them a text at 7 minutes in. I said, "I'm only 7 minutes into this video, and I'm falling asleep. I want to turn it off."
Yeah.
And I edit the shameless plug Luke Shaw Expedite Adventure videos where when you're editing, you have to watch over and over to find the right spots for cuts. And then
Yeah.
once it's all done, you have to watch and make sure you didn't leave anything in, anything strange. So you watch it a bunch of times, and by the time you're done with it, you've watched a lot. Well, I don't have to do that with this. I'd have to watch it once and say, yes, I'm good with it. Jerry, on the other hand, I felt really bad for Jerry having to watch that video over and over and over and over.
Oh, I could see in that respect. I did say you need lighter moments in between
Sure.
the topics that
Yeah,
you talk
sure.
about. That was my suggestion, and you clearly did that because you did
Well, our
change it
very
again.
first-
I love it.
our
Thank
very-
you for having us.
Our very first episode that none of y'all heard because we burned it along with the computer was very news program oriented. Very here's the articles we're going to present them, tell you what we think about it, move on to the next article, and whoo-wee, that was not our forte.
Super dry.
Super dry. Think Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
And that just didn't work for us. So we moved on, and now we're just winging it. And
What'd you
we're trying
What'd
to
you
get
do
some-
different? What'd you decide to do different?
Everything.
Everything.
You know what it was? I'm going to be honest here. In that very first episode, I opened with a story about Cologuard, and they had no idea that was coming. They had no idea at all that was coming, and it just broke the ice. It changed it up, and it was okay. We're not going to start this structured thing now. Here's I thought a funny story, and we ran with it, and it worked.
Well, also
It was funny.
and also that was not the first episode. That was episode 1.5.
1.5, yes,
1.5,
1.5 with the new computer, new equipment. Everything was brand new. No taint of the first show.
Correct.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yes.
That's probably a good segue.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, should we? I mean,
We're
it's
not
just-
going there.
It's just ironic that you Cologuard. I mean, she has a Cologuard story, but obviously we're not
We
going to share it right now. Is
We have
Cologuard
no
coming up
stories.
in
I do have that on the rundown here though of our unscripted show of Cologuard.
It's just okay.
Yeah.
Let me
We're
just say
discussing
it's on her doctor's list of things she needs to do. Let's
We
just
all
leave it
do.
at that.
Again, we talked last week about the importance of colorectal health and running and doing these tests.
It actually
And
is.
it's something
There's no
that's
shame in
important
it.
to do.
You
There's
know-
no shame in it.
Doesn't mean I want to talk about it.
Well,
I didn't say there was shame. I said I don't want to talk about it.
well, speaking of shame, at least you knew what that was, and you didn't confuse a prostate exam with a.
That's true. That's
Colonoscopy.
very true.
Who did that?
It
I don't
doesn't.
know who
It's
did
not
that.
important.
did
It
that?
doesn't. It doesn't
I
matter. It
don't
doesn't.
know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just
See, I clearly didn't hear that yet.
It's just. Yeah. Clearly, you haven't heard it
Clearly.
yet.
I said Saturday on the way home, let it go. Let it go.
All right. We'll see.
Let it go, Elsa.
Let it go. Anyways.
So on the way home Saturday, you're gonna let it go?
Yeah.
Is that what I just heard?
You didn't bring it with you. You did bring your kit with you.
No.
I thought maybe it's truck stop rest area or something.
We have two different subjects.
It's in a box at the house. She forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I have a little something to mention.
Oh,
For those of you that have been listening to the podcast, unlike others, I've been sharing with you all a decoration of the day, which is always an airplane. And today is no other than this same thing. It's written in the contract. We have to talk about it. And the airplane of the day is an Airbus A321 in the Delta Airlines livery. Now, who can guess why I would have picked this particular airplane?
It's going to be the next one you're going to travel on.
Close, but
It's
not.
the last one you traveled on?
There's been so many. No, try again.
You never traveled on this one.
This is an airplane that I had the pleasure a few months ago of flying to Atlanta, Georgia on a regular Boeing 737. There's nothing special there. And I got to meet Jimmy and Kelly in the airport. And we went to the Delta Sky Club in the Internationals terminal. And there's a secret Sky Club in the Delta airport where you can actually sit outside and enjoy complimentary drinks, cocktails, snacks, full course dinner. I mean, really, in some cases.
It's nice.
And we sat out there for like 2 hours just baking in a beautiful day. It was in the middle of fall and it had been cold and it was beautiful while we were there. And the sunshine was coming down and the airplanes were taking off literally all around you on both sides of you. And Jet A was in the air. You could smell it. It was
beautiful smell.
Oh, it's nothing like kerosene burning in the morning.
Love it.
And we got to hang out, and then we got to leave there and climb on a Delta A321 and fly to Cancun.
We flew in that?
Yeah.
Can I
not that
can I-
one.
Can I hold it?
Just don't break it.
The plane.
It's not going to bring you there now.
I just want to look at
You remember where we sat? You remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like
it. Way up here.
Right there in the front.
Way up here.
explain sitting up front. What's that mean?
It means I love it when it happens, and it doesn't always happen.
I think my favorite
I
memory.
was spoiled on that trip.
I think my favorite memory from that trip was, like getting the alert that like, okay, it's getting close to boarding time, and Kelly like rushing us out of the club, and I'm like, well, we have assigned seats. Who cares when we board the plane, right? Like, let's just hang out here. And she was not having it. She just had to get on that airplane first and sit down. It was hysterical. She was like, I've worked for this position. I want people to see me walk on this plane. It was so much fun.
That's because it doesn't happen in my life.
It was a blast.
Is that the flight where Kelly was sitting in her seat, and as everybody walked by, she gave him the beauty queen wave?
It is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I heard about that.
Like
heard
I
that
said, there
story.
was,
See? There you
again,
go.
free cocktails.
I thought she was
Prior to getting on the
Prior
plane.
to-
So let's
two
just
hours.
clarify that. Either way, it's such a rarity. I have to enjoy things.
It was a lot of fun. We get down to Mexico, down to Cancun, and met up with Jackie and Mike, another fleet owner with FedEx Custom Critical. They own Millennials and Trucking.
millennials and trucking.
And got to meet up with them and spend a couple days sitting on the beach, just really doing a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I haven't.
That was the plan. That literally was our plan.
It was the plan, and I literally haven't done that much nothing since then. Like, I mean, it just
It was good.
nothing.
It was needed.
It was like, do you want to get lunch? Like, that was the level of like,
3 squares a day. We didn't miss one and some in between. So
No.
the bottom line is all we were doing was planning the next meal.
yes, yeah, and breakfast was included at that place, which was kind of nice. But yeah, oh, Chili's at
What was
Kelly's.
your favorite?
Anyways.
What was your favorite part of the trip? Favorite thing?
So obviously, if you're going to be in Mexico on the beach, you're going to sit out on the beach in Mexico, and we did that quite a bit. But my favorite thing might have been we actually went to a what's that called? A
Cenote.
cenote, and we went. This place that we went had like 5, 6 cenotes,
We're 5.
and so we went on a tour, and we actually got to go see all the cenotes, and then the very last one we got to actually jump in. I mean, we were like easily 30 foot off the water or something like that. It was pretty awesome.
For those
don't
of us who
forget we
don't
did
know,
the-
can you tell us what a cenote is?
A cenote is a lake, but it's like it's a hole in the ground, and then there's water at the bottom of it. And
Correct him.
go ahead.
I'm not going to correct him. I'd say more of a pond than a lake.
I agree. Some the pond, a lot of them are pond. That one big one in the back
it's-
was lake-ish, but the rest are more pond
It's
size.
actually an underwater aquifer where over time the roof or an area over the aquifer has caved in,
yeah, collapsed.
and they're usually kind of they're cylindrical. It's like a circle.
yeah,
So that's the coolest, one of the coolest things I've ever done.
and they're quite deep too. I
Yeah.
mean, they are
Freshwater.
freshwater. They're very very deep. So you get snorkel gear and you can see way down, all kinds of fish. And
Oh, wow.
We did the underground.
we did one that was actually through a cave, which was part swimming, part walking, part
Yeah.
snaking yourself through near-death
It was with
experience.
helmets on and the life
Yeah.
jackets because
Wow.
there's certain areas when you're ducking down, your mouth or your face isn't in the water, but you're bumping your head on the
roof.
Yeah, if you're kind of
Wow.
claustrophobic, there's a couple areas that were like,
Yeah, like let's get through this
contemptuous.
quickly.
It's like, yeah.
That was
yeah.
amazing.
It was a real cool experience.
And I remember too, like thinking how ridiculous we got these friggin' helmets on. I've been in a lot of caves, and
Yeah.
I've never needed a helmet. And I
He
mean,
cracked his head.
like 30 seconds in, and it's like, oh, that's what that's for. So that trip is special, and we try to get away. This little group of us 6, we try to get away. Every year has kind of been our goal. In the past few years with COVID and everything, we haven't been able to. So it was nice to be able to pull it off this time and just have a great chance to fellowship and relax. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So this
So
is a
this
plane
is
that
the
you flew to
Yeah.
Cancun on.
See,
2 engines,
yes,
A321. You've told us on the last 2 the fuel efficiency of these airplanes.
horrible.
Okay.
Horrible.
All right.
They've rebuilt this plane as an A321 Neo, Neo, like from the Matrix, Neo.
Yeah.
Those things are super fuel efficient and awesome planes. This thing was designed in like 1995, and it's terrible fuel economy.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, it's a workhorse though. These engines go like 40,000 hours before they need to be overhauled, which is just ridiculous when you think that a machine can go that long without needing overhaul. I mean, you look at a truck engine in a couple thousand hours, it's done. It's just unbelievable. But these things, so it's a workhorse. They fly it all over the place, but it's not great. Delta did just start buying the new ones. I have not ridden on one yet. But they buy like 150 planes, and it's going to take a decade for them to come in. It's not anything that's fast. So, but that was this one. A321s. Chances are, if you've flown Delta, you've flown on one. They run them all over America. So it's a workhorse.
Common plane.
It's a very common plane. It's a very good, well-built, super reliable plane.
That's all you can hope for when you're in the air.
That really is the
brothers.
most important part when you're flying.
Yes, just get us there, Lord.
Yep.
Safely.
Yep. So
Awesome.
yes. We're gonna take a break, a short 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back. Stay tuned for more. Yeah.
Where you want it. Side of it. Move it back.
Okay.
I'm always trying to tell her how to.
I got a wee wee.
Kill the vibe.
He didn't get it. Thank you, Jesus.
You ought to be. You know to record all the time.
I've been telling Jerry to record everything.
Record everything.
Even setup. When he's adjusting cameras,
Yes.
be recording.
Yeah.
ABR, always be recording.
Yes. Yes. I mean, without that, freaking.
There's no OnlyFans.
We
FRC, full
we call
recording
Gus
coverage.
we call Gus ABP. Always be playing. He always be playing. That's what we say to him. Like, you ABP, always be playing. He never stops.
Well, he stopped right now.
Well, he hears me talking about him, don't you, Bubba?
He's got an eye on things too, don't he?
Oh yeah, nothing getting by that.
I don't see him.
If you had dark carpet, you wouldn't see him. He goes outside at night, you can't see his ass. I'll tell you that. That's not on camera, is it?
ABR. Always be recording.
And that's how
A few seconds late, but that's good.
Oh, we're not doing that right now. Here on the Outer Belt Podcast, we always like to thank our corporate non-sponsors. And today our corporate non-sponsor is...
Spencer's Gifts.
That's right, Spencer's Gifts. You know them, you love them. You went to see them in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 20-teens. And guess what? They're still at the malls. If you have a mall, that is, you do have a Spencer's Gifts. They are everyone's favorite store. We used to get movie posters there. We can get gag gifts. I had a situation where a friend of mine got married, and I was like 19 years old, and I had to get him a gift for his wedding. So I did what everybody does at 19 years old. I went to Spencer's Gifts. I got him a rubber poo, and
Nice.
it was in a cola box,
Yeah,
and
sure.
I brought it color guard box, and I brought it to him for his bachelor party. I know that everyone listening to this probably has some sort of Spencer's Gifts story, and we just really love their non-support of our show and thank them so much for their non-sponsorship.
Thank you, Spencer's Gifts.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes.
And welcome back, folks, to the Outer Belt Podcast. Here with me tonight is our host, Patrick.
Thank you. Well, actually, I'm the host,
You do most of the talking.
but I'm the consigliere.
I'm the consigliere.
You're the
I'm
consigliere.
the consigliere.
So what does that make me, Fredo? I don't
No,
know.
it makes you the godfather.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Please don't give him any other reason to have.
Thank you.
Which makes Jerry Bear over there, Michael.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Sonny, who's Sonny?
Hi, Sonny. How are you? We want to welcome our guests back in as well, Sonny and Corleone and
Share.
Cher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, there you
Chick
go.
looks great at like 90.
But we've got our friends from Georgia here in the house.
Fleet support
Director Kelly MacDonald and maintenance manager Jimmy MacDonald.
Great to be here.
Well, thanks for
Thanks.
being here, guys. Appreciate you.
I actually prefer his code name. It's not actually Fleet Manager. He is known as the Fleet Maintenance Guru.
The fleet maintenance guru fits him very well.
It does.
Fits
Yeah.
him very well. Anytime I need maintenance on my fleet, I talk to the guru. Jimmy and I work
hope that's
very
not a
closely
euphemism.
together. It is not.
Because it kind of sounded like
It
one.
kind of did sound like one. I mean, I'll stop now. I'll stop there. But Jimmy and I work very, very closely together when we have trucks that are back in the yard. We can turn around. We work closely together, make sure those trucks get maintained properly with what dates they need maintenance. Well, PMs, whether it's for the engine, for the APU, for the TCU, all those things. I work very closely with Jimmy to schedule, and then I work very closely with Kelly as well. When we have,
That's right.
we're trying to figure out which truck gets cleaned next. What's our priority for trucks when we have new teams coming in, what day they're moving in, those types of things. So I'm very happy to have those two folks here working with me today.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vince and I definitely work very closely together between fleet and ops. And that's where the magic happens, to be quite honest with you, when a team is coming on. So,
Well, it's a great crew. I mean, I always call you my dream team, this being the first.
answer.
But that y'all are the dream team. That being said, Kelly, we've talked so much about your husband and what he does, the guru with the maintenance and working with Don and seeing the vendors and everything. We don't know a whole lot about you other than you're just a lovable personality. What exactly do you do for the company?
I'll take the lovable personality comment because that's great. It's funny because I've been referred to as everything from the Hyfield mom. I'm not sure
yeah,
how
I see that.
I'm not sure how much I love that because that probably tells my
shouldn't.
age. But at the same time, yes, it is.
Disciplinarian.
I told Patrick I prefer the ma'am behind the curtain because honestly, I work closely with Delina in recruiting and social media, and then Kayla, who is in fleet support with me on the Panther side, and then me on the FedEx side between the drivers and FedEx, and then working with Dina, who works with all of our mentors, and then Vince. And the closest team I work with is probably Vince and the Melissas. Can I call her by her nickname?
You can call her by me.
Yeah, with Buttermilk and Mel Lee, we call. So those are our team here in
I
Columbus.
think we're calling her Missy now.
Oh, we are calling her Missy now.
yeah.
Missy Lee.
AKA.
Thanks to Guy from Capital
We'll
City
just keep
Trailer.
throwing
Exactly.
the AKAs on there for
Right,
her.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Although
they were Melissa Squared. What
They are
happened to that?
Melissa Squared. We
Okay.
call them that too,
All right.
among other things.
I know what I want her in my email. I just start with Cheshire. So
Yes.
then I know I'm going to get the right one.
Yep.
So that's how I know.
Yep.
So technically, I refer to her as Cheshire more than I do anything else, but I'll go with whatever. But they're great, and we work really closely together. So as new teams come on, from start to finish, and even once you move into the truck, you're always going to deal with myself or Kayla, and we love our drivers. I love, love, love my drivers because I've been there. That's the greatest thing about it is I've been right where they are, so it's easy. And you know what? That's another good thing that I love about Hyfields, if I can put the selfless plug in about our staff, is that every single one of us have driven a truck.
Well, everybody in operations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
when it came
Outside
to
of recruiting and Carla.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's a driver.
when it comes
so.
to accounting, you want to try to find people.
Yeah.
You know, do accounting.
But even even in the we're all there. We all team up, and it's a good group of people. And I'm very blessed to work with each and every one of them.
Absolutely. I think it's a very strong point of the company. I enjoy the fact that we all have this common bond that we can all get behind and know about. And, whenever there's an issue or a driver has a concern, we get it. Been there, done it. I know, we know what it's like. I know firsthand what it's like to be broke down the side of the interstate going like, what do I do?
Right. Yeah.
I know that sweat. I know that fear. So yeah, no, it's great. Well, you say you have, we know you, obviously from what you said so far that you were a driver. What, tell me a little bit about that. What did you do before coming to Hyfield? What did you do? Like what got you here?
It's funny because Jimmy and I we've been together for 22 years, but I don't know how a conversation came up one night we were talking, and I don't know how somehow he said something about some crazy thought of being an over-the-road truck driver, and I was like, are you kidding? Because I've thought about that too. Next thing you know, plan was in motion. Our kids were grown. We had jobs. I was a property manager in new home construction. Jimmy was a child abuse investigator in the state of Florida, and our kids were getting ready to leave the house, and we had good jobs, but we didn't have jobs that were ever going to afford us the ability to see everything we saw in a truck and do everything we did in a truck. Because while we had what we had, which was a decent living, like most Americans, we're just straight middle class that may or may not always have the ability to travel and do everything we wanted to do. And that was important to us. We wanted to see stuff. And so we just looked at each other and said, let's do it. Now, we did start out with Class A licenses, and we drove tractor trailer. So we are one of those teams that came on to Hyfield out of a tractor trailer. But we've driven to every state that you can drive to, with the exception of Alaska, and we've been there on a cruise. And 6 Canadian provinces. So I've done everything, been seeing the Broncos play the Packers and Lambeau Field, to going to Rockies game, but we've been to Fenway, Kansas City. We've done a lot of cool stuff that I would have never been able to do had I not gotten in that truck, and I wouldn't trade a minute of it.
It was the friends and family we got to see along the way. Friends and family that live across the country, from Texas to Colorado to Montana, and everywhere in between. We were able to see people do things, eat certain foods that we otherwise wouldn't get a chance to see were it not for the adventure of going on the road. And it was,
And not to mention, we made pretty good money. Yeah. So, hey, best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's always a win. And I know even selfishly, like you and I, the four of us, we all had a great relationship prior to y'all coming on board with us, on staff, that is. And I mean, we took that Alaska cruise with you. Like, we've done a lot of fun things together. And that's one thing I miss too, when y'all were always over the road. It wasn't uncommon for y'all to pop in and hey, we're in Columbus this weekend, and we'd be able to go hang out and throw down or whatever for the weekend. And, that trucking affords you the ability to do that. I know that's one of the things when Eric and I quit driving over the road, the not popping into Vegas over the weekend because we're in Vegas and knowing that we had that load on Monday, or not going to see, popping out, stopping in Denver, and there's family out there and seeing them, or going into the mountains, renting a car and having a blast. Like that was a huge part of what we really loved about trucking. I mean, again, the money was great. We enjoyed that aspect of it, and just seeing the entire country. Same deal. Driven all 48 states, been to all the southern provinces of Canada, put the truck on a ferry and ridden for a couple hours out to an island, like done got to do all those marks. The only thing we didn't really get to do that we always wanted to do was drive to Alaska. We had the opportunity.
We didn't either.
We had the opportunity, but our truck it was when we first owned just one truck. And that truck, I'm not going to say it was a lemon, but it looked and smelled and tasted like a lemon. That thing knew how to eat money. I mean, it just burned money. We could not keep that thing running. It was broken down all the time. And so we really struggled with, like, what are we going to do about this? This is really rough. And we finally got it fixed. And it was good, and it ran for years after that.
Kenworth?
Yeah, Kenworth. We finally found the issue with it and finally got it running and ran great. However, we got it fixed like a week before we got the opportunity to go to Alaska, and we didn't trust it. We were like, nah, sure, because we were breaking down every couple of weeks with that truck. We had a lot of issues with it, and we got, like I said, we got it fixed. And we don't own any new trucks like that. That is the engine that put Caterpillar out of the engine making business. This was universally known. 2008 for the drivers out there. 2008 Caterpillar diesel, horrible. ACERT engine. I mean, that will make a lot of mechanics get goosebumps. I mean, it is bad. It is a horrible engine. And so, again, we finally got it fixed, but we didn't know and we didn't trust it, so we didn't take that load to Alaska. But man, I would have loved to. We've had quite a few teams do it. But we never got the chance. Jerry, you did Alaska.
Yeah, I did. It was before I came to Hyfield. Actually, I had already been with FedEx about 6 months. I'd already had my explosives and radioactive with FedEx only about 2 months. And they sent us a load up. She called me and she's like, hey, I've got an offer for you. And it was picking up explosives, which was picking up rockets for the U.S. Army. Nice. And taking it up to Fairbanks from White Plains, New Mexico.
Ooh.
It's a nice long haul.
That's a long trip.
Yes, it is.
It was a very interesting trip. We ran into many obstacles. It was my first time doing explosives.
Yeah.
Crossing all the provinces. We had to go a certain route with explosives and everything, going through all the provinces of Canada. Crossing the border, my air brakes froze up.
Oh, no.
So they actually thought I was running the border.
Oh, no.
They come out with guns drawn.
Wow, really?
So you did like just about the like ice road truckers that we watch them do on
Pretty
TV. That
much.
was you. Oh, that's
Yes.
great.
Hit
So
the gate doing 98.
Let the truckers roll.
All with explosives placards on your truck.
yes,
That's not nerve-wracking.
we got the truck stopped whenever I was crossing the border. I actually had my hands up. I'm telling them, don't shoot, the whole 9 yards.
Wait. Like coming to a stop, you had your hands up, or after you came to a stop?
After I came to a
Okay,
stop.
I'm just thinking that might not be.
How far past the border gate was this?
Maybe 10 to 12 feet.
Far enough.
Far enough.
Oh,
Like,
it was over. It is the only thing you need to
Yes.
know.
How come we haven't heard this before?
I don't know.
You keep this story close to the vest or something?
honestly, it was something that a lot of people told me I should talk about on my Expedite Boogie, famous plug
Right.
there. But I just never did. I never put it out there.
Interesting. Okay, so all right, next. What happened after that?
So I flung open the door. I explained to them what was going on. I'm a new driver. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So they actually had a tech on property there, and he was nice enough to help show us how to unfall the brakes and get them going again. So my co-driver at the time, Don, was not with me, and he's out there crawling under the truck and figuring out how to thaw the brakes out. I'm inside on the phone with my mother at this point.
We can all relate to that.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So my mom drove tractor trailer 14 years solo, so she wasn't the first person to call. So I'm on the phone with her, and I'm telling her what's going on. We have no cell phone signal. We have no satellite signal on the truck for the Qualcomm. This was back when they were using the old single panel.
Oh yeah,
Forget what they're called.
with the little
MCT
screen.
100s or something.
Yeah, with the little screen, but
Yeah.
it was like
right.
this. Yes.
And
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone with her, and I'm freaking out, and I kind of turn around and I look out this window, and all of a sudden I see this bright white light, and I'm thinking, what is he doing? The maintenance guy is under my truck with explosives, with a blowtorch, thawing out my brakes.
Oh, jeez.
I freak. I go running out. I drop the phone. I go running outside, and I'm screaming, "Stop! Stop!" And he's like, "Oh, you're fine. It's no big deal." I'm sweating bullets at this point. Not to mention that the high temperature was -20. The low was
I'm out.
-50. This was 2 weeks before Christmas. It was definitely an experience. We got the brakes thawed out. We continued on to the trip. A little bit later, probably when I say a little bit, I say more along the lines of about 6 hours later, coming down this really, really steep grade. Brakes didn't freeze up. My power steering froze
Oh no.
because it was so cold, all the cold air coming through the engine. I literally had to use my right tire to kind of rub the edge of the road and help slow me down and keep me on the road. And when I finally got it to come to a stop, I didn't know what I was going to do to keep the cold air from coming through because I didn't have one of those guards you buy.
Yeah.
A winter front.
Yeah,
Winter front, thank you.
Yeah.
And so I improvised. I did the only thing I could do. I got to going through the cabin of the sleeper. We found a box that we had that was empty. I unfolded it. I took it. I put it on the front of the truck, and I duct taped it to the front of the truck.
Attaboy.
Yep.
And that blocked a lot of the wind, and it helped the power steering from freezing up.
Nice.
That's
Attaboy.
That's a
nice.
great story.
It really is.
There's a lot more.
Did
You
you
were
do
like, please get me back to the States.
It-
Well, although you were in Alaska,
Yeah.
the lower 48.
Yeah.
So you delivered in Fairbanks.
We did. After I delivered, the guy who we delivered to, he said, "I'm surprised you even made it up here. Like, we didn't think you were going to make it." And believe it or not, we went with not a lot of extra clothes. We didn't know what
Yeah.
to expect. The only thing FedEx told us was get fuel additive for your fuel so it doesn't freeze. Which that brings me to another little thing that happened on the trip. I did stop the truck whenever I got into Alaska, and I fueled up. Now, keep in mind, I had been driving for days at this point. Got out, fueled the truck up, took me all of less than 10 minutes. And whenever you fuel, I mean, it's not a big truck stop. It's like a mom and pop. When you pay, you go inside a little woman's house, and she's sitting there watching TV.
Yeah, her name's Mildred.
And it was one pump that you had to sling under the truck to fill both
So you get the other
tanks.
tank. Yeah.
But it was less than 10 minutes. I hopped back in the truck, and the truck's like,
Oh yeah.
it wouldn't start. It was so cold. It had cold. The engine had literally dropped. It had no warmth or anything. And the guy came out, and I got the truck started, and he told me, he was like, never shut your truck up off here.
Yeah.
Just never shut it off.
Yeah.
So we had to run a nonstop from that point on. It got so cold in the sleeper. We had the sleeper on high. We had the cab on high, and there was still ice on the inside of the doors.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Did you have a chance to hang out and do stuff in Fairbanks, or was it a turn and burn and come back?
Nope. After we delivered, he told us a really nice place that was up the road from where we delivered. He gave us a name. We dropped his name. She took us in. She gave us hot showers.
Oh, nice.
They gave us a really, really nice, great, excellent steak meal. All comped. Didn't
wow.
have to pay
Really?
for anything.
Wow.
Nice.
It was a
Nice.
really
Wow.
awesome experience. But I was very happy to get back into Seattle when I finally got
I'm
back.
sure.
I can, yeah,
Nice.
imagine.
Nice story. I'm glad I got to hear that.
Yep. I've been to Fairbanks one time in the middle of June, I think it was. And it was great. It was really fun. The temperature was perfect. I mean, it was perfect. It was like 78 during the day, and then like really low 60s, high 50s at night. It was just awesome weather. And we had this really cool cafe. We actually ate up on the top of the building. They had like a little patio area, and really enjoyed my time in Fairbanks. But all I could think about was just being up there in the middle of winter and just imagining everything around me white. Like I just couldn't. It's just so interesting. I had a similar experience out on Prince Edward Island. I've been there twice, once in the middle of winter, once in the middle of summer. And in summer, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's so nice. And then we went back for winter, and it was like, what is this barren wasteland I have stumbled upon? It was scary, like a trip.
It was so cold in Alaska that trucks were passing me on like these 2-lane roads doing 60, 70 miles an hour. And me being a new driver, not really knowing, and later I found out from other drivers that it's just so cold that the ice is so frozen hard that it provides traction.
Yeah.
So it was not a big deal. But the weather was so cold, like you would get out of the truck and I would have a scarf around my face and still breathing in that air. It felt like needles. It was so cold.
Wow.
So that was never on the list of places to move to.
Absolutely not.
Not for me either, even though my daughter lives there.
Yeah, we got a daughter that lives there.
Yeah. You should make the trip out there. Go see it.
We plan on it.
Yeah.
Fairbanks is a really cool. Is it Fairbanks she's
I'm
at?
going in the summer,
Yeah,
though.
if we can get, if our boss will let us off,
If
give us some time off.
If you're going to go to Fairbanks,
They have
check.
good internet. They have good internet.
If you're going to go to Fairbanks, check the weather situation. Not the weather, the mosquito situation. You want to go before the mosquito season because their mosquitoes are massive and they don't care. They attack like.
They pick you up, body slam you, sting you, let you go.
No, I heard the fuel techs at the airport fuel up mosquitoes accidentally sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I've literally heard that.
Yeah, they prefer J-A-Day, but they'll do $100 every now and then. Well, Jerry, that was a very interesting story about Alaska. I can't wait to share more of those stories with y'all over the next few weeks and months. That was really exciting. But we do need to discuss some business.
Yep.
If I could only remember what that is. Vince?
Well, in a couple of weeks, we've got Matt's coming up, the Mid-America Truck Show.
That is right. We do have the Mid-America Truck Show.
Yeah.
We are going to be at Matt's with Panther Premium Logistics in their booth in the West Wing. And not only are we going to be there, I think we're going to have some guests, aren't we?
I think we are.
Whoop, whoop.
I think we are.
Singular.
No?
Kelly Mac will be in the house.
And she's bringing her other chick. What's her name?
Yes, Expedite Chicks Delina will be there as well. There's another shameless plug for the Expedite Chicks. Check
Well,
us out,
if we're shamelessly plugging, I'm going to shamelessly plug Expediter Boogie. He's going to be there too.
Nice.
He will be there.
Yes,
he
he
will
will.
be there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll also have Luke Shire Expedite Adventures in the house. So people will get to see Buttermilk again.
That sounds exciting.
It does
If I
sound
can
exciting.
shamelessly plug, Other Belt podcast will be at the.
Are they gonna be
they're
there
going to be
too?
there too. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's cross branding.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It'll be.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's March 30th through April 1st. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday's kind of slow, but Friday and Saturday is where the real action is. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be the West Wing of the Kentucky Expo Center in Louisville, Kentucky. If you are going and you're in a truck, they do have truck parking, but it is not on site. Go to the website, truckshow.com, and follow the map on there, how to get to it. It's free parking. They have shuttles bringing you back and forth from the convention center. And they're, I've done it before. They've got a ton of buses, and they're just back and forth like crazy. Seriously? Seriously. In the middle of the plug.
I'm so sorry. The water went down the wrong pipe.
The water, sure.
See, we have to work with. Anyways,
Do you do this on your own show?
We do, sadly. See, at the Expedite Chicks, we just kind of go with the flow. You could have muted me.
like this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, where were we? Okay, so the parking is on. They have shuttles. Just go. It'll be a lot of fun. If you are,
Just go.
You doing it
just
again?
go. If you
Just go.
If you have not already registered, free registration is already over with the Mid-America Truck Show. It now costs, I don't remember how much it is, but it is a couple dollars when you register online, and it's still worth it. Go. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll see just a bunch of us hanging out. You're going to be able to climb into some really cool trucks. I know ARI is going to be there. Go say hello to my boy Tyler Hollinger. He's going to be working the ARI booth, representing FIDA Freightliner, and it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a good show, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, a couple dollars, but it's worth it. And if you're an independent contractor, it's a tax write-off.
You can get a bunch of freebies and sell them on the black market and probably make your entry fee back.
I don't know how y'all do things on expedite checks,
Just kidding.
but we don't encourage our
Black market sales.
black market sales
Freebies especially.
freebies. No.
This is so big.
I'm just going to say I'm looking forward to
There's
being
enough
there.
ink
I've never
pens.
been there before. Can we mute her? Is that possible? Can we still
can-
do that? Yeah.
There it is. All right.
I wish we could just mute just her and not Jimmy though.
I know. Well, you know,
Yeah, but yeah,
he made his
I'm
choice.
I'm looking.
I've been saying
22
that.
year ago, apparently. You're muted, Jimmy.
I've been saying that the whole 22-year
There you go.
relationship.
There you go.
She needs to be muted every now and then.
Say that again.
She needs to be muted every now and then. Just, you know.
I'm
Just
right. I'm right
because.
there with you. I wish I had a mute button for buttermilk too.
All right. Well,
Sometimes.
Y'all are just jealous.
Anyway,
anyways,
I'm looking forward to being there. I've never been. I'm just looking forward to seeing all the
I've never
fancy
been
trucks
either.
and talking to people, and I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, it is very exciting. I'm looking forward to being there with Kelly. I want to see her eyes as we walk through that place. She's going to be like, oh my gosh. It's pretty awesome. And again, it's in the West Wing, so be sure to shout out to the president while you're there. In July, we are going to be at the Expedite Expo Crossroads of America Truck Show. We will actually be a sponsor of that show. We'll have a booth there, booth 413. We'll be in the middle of the show. You won't be able to miss us at the Hyfield booth. That is July 21st to the 22nd, just 2 days only, 2023. The truck parking there does cost a little bit of money, $16 per day, but the secret is if you get in there on the first day, they don't charge you for the second. You're allowed to stay overnight. It's a lot of fun. People are going to be throwing down the parking lot at night. They're going to be hanging out. And actually on Friday night, they're going to be throwing down at Casino Night. We are sponsoring. Hyfield Trucking is the actual corporate sponsor for Casino Night and the after party. It's a lot of fun. I mean, y'all both been to that, and it is just a blast.
It's a good time.
It's a great ending to the show. Great ending to the
That's
show.
Friday
yeah.
night.
That's Friday night, but you know,
Well, it's close to the end.
depends on how much you drink on that night. It could be the end
You
of the
may,
show,
not get there, you may not get there Saturday.
but we're trying not to do that too
I
much.
know someone who's done that.
They also have some great sessions at Expedite Expo. You know,
They do.
how to run your business, how to be more profitable,
How to start a fleet,
how to start a fleet, how to buy a truck, financing for a truck, insurance for your truck.
Maintenance
So
information.
maintenance information.
lots of good information
Our-
other than the casino night and after party.
Yes, and our good friends Millennials in Trucking will actually be over there running one of the
They
the
talk
talks.
from 11 to like 11:50 or 11:10 to 11:50. I saw it today on Friday.
Yeah.
it was in
I
the
think
it was in the Wire newsletter.
Millennials
today.
perspective or
great.
something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Which is it's really cool to see that. I mean, you know, we've been with Jackie. Jackie's how we met. That's how we
Jackie
actually.
is exactly how I met you.
Yes,
You know,
She had her truck on Snapchat, and we were friends because they drove at Covenant with us. And I was looking at her Snapchat story, and I was like, "What? Where'd you get that truck?" And she said, "I've met these guys, Patrick and Eric, and they've got an extra truck. You should call them." And I'm like, "Okay." So she gave me Patrick's number, and the rest is history.
absolutely.
Yeah, we met Jackie and Mike the first day they started trucking. They were the first day picking up their truck at Covenant
They were
Transport.
orientation.
Yeah, at orientation. And
Yeah.
met them. And they've
y-
been friends ever since.
Well, and a fun fact for you on that one, Jackie is the first contractor we ever had, driver we ever had, that when we dropped off the truck, cooked breakfast for me that morning.
Really?
Wouldn't they
She made me an
also be
omelet.
the first team that we ever had that started a fleet?
Yes, they would be the first team to do it. Now we've had a couple teams do it since, but they would be the
Yes.
first team that
So
ever
there
did it.
are
Yeah,
our first fleet owners that you would have produced out of Hyfield.
absolutely. Yep. And great friends. Again, I already told y'all from the story earlier that we've go to Mexico with them. We've been on a few other trips with them. We love to hang out with them. They're awesome people.
They're good people.
And
Lots of fun.
They do bring an interesting perspective. I mean, it's just you know.
Jackie, it's always
It
interesting.
is Jackie. It's always an adventure with Jackie. But yes,
let's
it
not,
is.
Let's not
I
sell
love
Mike
her.
short either. Mike's quiet, but if you get talking to Mike, that dude brings it.
Yeah.
He brings it.
Yeah.
Mike's
Just
great.
He's just fine being in the background.
He is.
It takes one to know one, trust me.
Absolutely. Look, in life, you've got people who are the rock and you've got people who are the roll. And I think we know who's who.
Yeah, we do.
And if you don't,
We do.
And if you don't know who's who, Expedite Expo, go see them. You'll figure it out as
Yes,
well.
you will.
They're a lot of fun.
Yes, you will.
That's going to be the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
Yep.
Again, the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana, on July 21st to the 22nd. It's free, sign up, and we look forward to seeing you. I tell people when we have guests on the podcast, I tell them, like, look, don't worry about it. If you fumble up a word or a phrase or say something you don't like,
Cough.
or cough while you're drinking your water in the middle of copy, then you will don't have to worry about it because our good friend Jer Bear here, he's going to edit it out. He's going to make you sound like a superstar. That's all he knows how to do is make
it. That's what he
you
does.
look good. When you're in a live, you don't have that option. It's like it's one take and go, and how it works out, it works out. So that was a very different situation, and y'all are killing me. If you could see that, I've got all their mics muted. If you could see this, people, they are losing it. You're gonna see it on YouTube, but if you're listening on the podcast, Vince is crying. There goes the hanky. Kelly is completely red. She's as red as the curtain over my shoulder. Jimmy's holding on to it. He's fine. And Jerry, your mic's open. Am I lying, or is this really what's happening?
It is definitely what's happening.
I don't know how I'm supposed to work in these conditions. I really don't.
You're the boss.
What was that again?
I'm not saying it now.
Okay.
That's what you get for muting my mic.
It happens at least once a show where I lose my stuff and cry.
Absolutely.
It
Well,
does.
they're tears of
Joy.
and
Vince took the superstar reference and ran with
I
it.
did. That's what we do on this show. We take that reference and
is that a Saturday Night Live skit? Okay, yeah, I've seen it. All right, yeah.
Old school. That's old school.
that's
Yeah.
before your
Back
time.
when it was funny.
Yeah, back when it was
Yeah. It's funny. It's just for a different crowd.
It's not.
Have you seen Weekend Update?
It doesn't matter.
I just stopped
They
watching.
tilted.
Oh, what Michael Shea and
I haven't watched it. in
the other
years.
guy
Yeah,
are
yeah,
doing?
Yeah, the other guy.
They tilted.
You should see Weekend Update now. It's
Well, Weekend Update was always funny. I will
it's
give
so
that aspect of the show kudos for being funny. The rest of it, they tilted.
Michael Shea and Scarlett Johansson's husband. They, oh my gosh, that's. But I think both of them are leaving the show. So
It's not Chevy. It's not Chevy Chase. Weekend update.
it's not
No,
Chevy Chase.
no.
No,
Well, that's a
no.
different- yeah.
Oh, hey.
David Spade.
So if you haven't, okay, we're so off topic. If you haven't seen it, you can call me Al by Paul Simon. I watched a music video the other day.
I love that song.
It's Chevy Chase.
Yes.
You can call
He's doing the whole. Oh my
me
gosh, it was so funny, and he looks
Call
young.
me
It's like
Al.
crazy.
That was like 1988, 87.
It was early.
Yeah, yeah.
Great tune.
I was a young lad.
I was just a wee lad.
So, anyways, we are going to be having a live come up in the next couple weeks. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I will have it for you next week. But we look forward to seeing you there. Check Facebook, check Instagram, and we will have the dates and information there as well. But we want to thank everybody for supporting the podcast. If you liked us, please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends, share us. Y'all, so far, we've had such an amazing turnout. So many of y'all have shared us. We're getting people saying, "Oh, we didn't know anything about trucking," or we did, but it's great to get to know y'all. All that stuff. We're getting a lot of good feedback. I really like it. This thing is building momentum, and I want to thank y'all because we're not doing it. We're just up here talking to a microphone, acting like clowns.
It's
y'all
just
are,
the talking we normally do without a microphone in our face.
absolutely, y'all are the ones that are actually
Don't
promoting
tell people
us,
that.
and we appreciate it so much. If you have any questions, comments,
If
anything
they
you want us to
only
talk
knew.
about, please feel free to drop us an email at the Outer Belt. What is the email address, Jerry? Every time I have to ask.
The Outer Belt podcast hyfieldfamily@gmail.com.
That's
I
funny.
literally.
He had written right here
I
on this
literally-
paper
Pretty
is
basic,
the
pretty
Outer
basic.
Belt Podcast
We
at
need to.
gmail.com.
Well, my microphone is blocking that. I can't see
Oh,
that
is it?
section.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure,
Okay. But it is,
sure.
yes. Right
He
over.
talks about everybody else.
And so, feel free to email us, drop us a line. You can always comment on Facebook, send us a Facebook Messenger. We try to read all the comments, and we try to reply back to y'all. Again, this is your show. We're just happy to be up here talking about whatever y'all want us to talk about, and we want to really, especially today, thank Jimmy and Kelly MacDonald for gracing us with your presence, hanging out with you. It's been so much fun.
Awesome.
Y'all,
Thank you for having us. We had a great time. You know you want to say something.
No.
it's your turn,
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for guys for
told
being
you.
here and
Told you
participating. We
you'd have to
appreciate it.
draw him in. He's done pretty well, though.
Are we going into karaoke hour now?
That's going to be after the podcast is over.
Okay,
We'll be in
okay,
karaoke.
Got him.
Chair Bear, anything I'm forgetting?
Don't think so.
There's a little bit of lag. All right, so y'all stay safe and make good decisions.
Don't leave money on the table.
Right. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Outer Belt Podcast at Gmail. The Outer Belt Podcast at gmail.com. Thanks for having us. Really enjoyed it. Look forward to the next time.
Hashtag Hyfield Family.
And keep those wheels a turning.
There you go.